May I come in, sir?
Yes, please come in.
Good morning, sir. Good afternoon, sirs.
Good afternoon.
May I sit,
VISHVJEET.
sir?
VISHVJEET.
Yes, sir.
So, VISHVJEET Singh Holkar.
नहीं ये नहीं
Huh?
So, Vishvjeet Singh Holkar.
विश्वजीत सिंह अच्छा
हाँ,
ठीक
यही
ठीक।
तो है
हाँ,
विश्वजीत सिंह होलकर।
होलकर,
Yes, sir.
ठीक ठीक, ओके।
Father's name Kalicharan Singh.
Yes, sir.
So, you became from Singh to Holkar.
Sir, I carried the community name, the specific community name.
Okay. And your father is assistant engineer. He retired.
Yes, sir.
Where from?
Sir, Government of Rajasthan, PhD.
Acha. And it shows that you were born in Mathura. How?
Sir, I'm born in Bharatpur. I'm from Mathura. My parents are basically from Mathura.
There are Holkars in Mathura.
Sir, Holkars are found all over India
Acha.
by different names. The surname Holkar is majorly used in Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh, but the community is found across the nation.
Oh. How come?
Sir, it's as in the Indian caste system, the caste people with same occupation have a same caste, and that way Holkars were the actually Holkars are the Dhangar caste, which are shepherds.
Shepherds.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, you did BTech in mechanical engineering, and your subject for civil services was
Sir, sociology.
मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग से सोशियोलॉजी में चले गए.
Sir, in my final year there was an elective of sociology, and I liked the subject as it provided a new point of looking at the society and social issues. So I opted for this subject.
Why not mechanical engineering?
Sir, I felt in my final year there was an elective of sociology. So in my final year there was an elective of sociology, and I found that if I want to be in civil services, sociology would have provide me greater insights in the working of society and how things work and what are the norms and how people actually live their life. So I thought that sociology would be of greater help.
That is the honest answer, or
So it's one of the...
something else also?
Sir, majorly it's an honest answer.
Acha. Is it not that mechanical engineering would have been a difficult subject in civil services as
sir,
compared to social science?
Sir, definitely the syllabus is much more difficult, but there is relative marking as indicated by UPSC. So it would have been difficult for all the students having the same optional. So we have to perform relatively, so I don't think so that difficulty of subject matters that much.
How about scoring in the two subjects?
So scoring pattern is more or less on the similar lines because of the relative marking done by UPSC.
Mm-hmm. Have you heard the name of Quad?
Quad, sir. The alliance of India, US, Japan, and Australia. Yes, sir.
What is the origin of Quad?
So it is basically
Origin.
origin. So origin points, I don't know, sir.
Okay. What is NATO?
So NATO is a security and a military pact of the United States and initially the Western European nations.
What is the dispute between Russia and Ukraine,
So
for
basically,
which this war is going on and the entire world is troubled?
basically, sir, Russia claims parts of Ukraine as their own, and
Which parts?
Sir, sir, exact locations I am unable to recall now.
Okay. Direction wise, east, west, north,
Sir,
south.
if we talk about Ukraine side, it would be the southwestern area. No? Just a minute. Sir, sorry sir if it's wrong, but in my memory, it's coming like southwestern
नक्शा
area.
याद करो. रशिया किधर है, यूक्रेन किधर है?
So Ukraine southwest.
कोई बात नहीं. Apart from this reason कि Russia claims some part of it, as you say, what is the other reason?
So the other reason is Ukraine was willing to join NATO, and it is a security threat to Russia. As Russia still thinks that NATO might want to invade the Russian Empire itself.
Okay. So why is NATO supporting it, the war?
So NATO is not materially supporting the war directly, but they are trying to pressurize Russia by applying sanctions on Russia.
Who is supporting war from Ukraine side?
Sorry sir, I don't know the exact country's names.
So do you feel that Ukraine as a country alone can fight with Russia?
So when we look at the paper, on the paper, the strength of military is very starkly. They are starkly different, and Ukraine doesn't stand a chance that way. But it's easier to defend a country, and Russia needs to have a large number of troops, which they didn't provide in the initial stages, because of which Ukraine has sustained in the war well.
What is India's stand in this war?
So India basically India is basically trying to make both the countries come at the talking terms, so that the war can be averted. India has not taken stand for either of the nations.
Okay.
Vishwjeet, sociology is your optional subject, is it?
Yes, sir.
Have you come across a term called Sanskritization?
Yes, sir.
What is it? Explain.
Sanskritization is basically when a culturally inferior community takes up the culture and the lifestyle of the culturally superior or hierarchically superior community, so as to gain upward mobility.
Who talked about this?
M.N. Srinivasan.
Can you name a book written by him?
Sir, it was about Kurgs.
Okay, I think read about it. Interesting.
Yes, sir.
So, you are also interested in mindful meditation.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what is that?
So, mindful meditation is basically, sir, when we try to look at our thoughts from a third-person perspective. Basically, what happens in when we are usually thinking, we try to act on those thoughts. Rather than during mindfulness meditation, we try to observe the origin of the thoughts and how they are flowing, rather than reacting to them.
What is the difference between yoga and meditation?
So yoga involves some form. When we talk, yoga is a broader term, and meditation is encompassed in it. Sir, in the Ashtanga yoga written by Patanjali also, the last three are Dhyan, Dharana and Samadhi are related to meditation itself.
Okay. Now we'll take you to the foreign policy domain. I think you are your Indian Foreign Service is your second preference.
Yes, sir.
So, tell me a country with which we have best of relations, neighboring country. Name one.
Neighboring
and
country.
why? You have to justify.
Sir, can I take?
Yeah, take a minute.
Okay. Sir, in our immediate neighborhood, I think, sir, we have very good relations with Bhutan. So basically, sir, the geographical position of Bhutan is such that it is surrounded by India from 3 sides, and India doesn't have any major border dispute with Bhutan, and it needs support of India to counter the Chinese aggression. So I think, sir, that, and also, sir, the relation between the Indian government and the previous monarchy of Bhutan was really well.
But don't you find a tilt also towards China from Bhutan now?
Sir, tilt towards China is a global phenomena, because China is using its foreign policy based on economics and debt. It is natural to for the nations to be somewhat tilted towards China.
Name 2 political parties each in Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Nepal.
Okay, sir. Just a minute. Sir, in Bangladesh, sir, Awami League is there, and sir, rest, sir, I'm not able to
Read about that. BNP, you know, BNP.
Yes.
Okay, Bangladesh National Party. What about Pakistan?
Sir, I'm not aware of the political parties' names.
Names, Pakistan.
Yes, sir.
What about Nepal?
Similarly, sir, I'm not aware of the political parties' name in most of the nations.
Okay. Now, what are the implications of Brexit for UK now?
Sir, there are multiple implications, although it was UK wanted Brexit to curb the immigrants and to provide local jobs, but it has larger adverse economical impact, as they have to now enter into a free trade agreement with European nations again, and it will also increase the difficulties in trade and immigration and other labor and student exchange related issues. Although for India it provides a larger opportunity to fill the gap of
We stand to gain.
So we stand to gain, sir.
Specify the areas where we stand to gain.
So basically, sir, after Brexit, sir, in both Britain and the other parts of Europe, there will be a gap of in the supply chain, and India having a cheaper labor supply can fulfill that gap. And moreover, sir, we are also going towards in the agriculture market for stringent norms which meet the European standards. So I think we can also fulfill in that area, especially for Britain.
Okay. What is your perspective on G20, which is major event?
So G20 provides India a unique opportunity for showing its global leadership. So we can tackle various issues such as of the rising terrorism in our immediate neighborhood in Pakistan and Afghanistan. So secondly, sir, we can also try to balance the views on Ukraine and Russia war. India has been largely criticized for not going against Russia. So we can try to balance
our views are well known, no, on Ukraine, no?
Yes, sir, they are well known, but they are largely criticized by the Western nations.
On what grounds?
So, according to the Western nations, Russia is an aggressor, and India should defend. India should India should try to stand with the democratic governments and rule-based international order, as India has been always. So that is the Western perspective.
Vishwajit, my last question. They say, I mean, again, these political analysts, they say that US is trying to use India to checkmate China.
Okay, when we look from the US perspective, this seems right, but India is trying to balance both Russia and not both, even all the powers in the region, like India is balancing relations with China, Russia, and US. So India is trying to gain from across the multilateral order.
Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Vishvjeet, you have studied sociology.
Yes, sir.
So have you studied Manu Smriti?
Sir, I have not read Manu Smriti, but I have heard about it.
What is this?
Basically, sir, it was laws written by Manu for dictating the social norms and rules for the society.
So what are those norms?
So basically, those norms were based on caste hierarchy and a dominant patriarchy.
So what caste hierarchy it has been described, or what are the norms?
According to Manu Smriti, the occupation and the duties, punishments, all that are according to one's position in the Varna structure. That is what I know from.
What is Varna structure?
So Varna structure is basically a division of Indian society into 4 parts. Although sir, the Varna structure leaves out a very significant portion of the Indian population that is known in sociology as a Varna. That is the most vulnerable section socially at present. That structure was used by Manu to provide duties and privileges and responsibilities for the nation's population.
My point is this, that the Western sociologists, they've exploited the Manu Smriti. Most of us, we don't read or go through the Manu Smriti, and whatever the Western sociologists they say, that this has been described and that has been described, and we follow it up.
Yes, sir, it's definitely true. The initial sociological works were based on taking our books and norms at the face value. And as Louis Dumont also said, that there is a hierarchy of humans in India. So yes, sir, they have exploited it, but largely, sir, in India, despite independence and providing fundamental rights of equality, at a larger level, especially in the rural areas, still we are following somewhat of the Varna structure.
That is caste structure and Varna structure still there, and it will be there, and it was there. But it was as per the division of labor. So what is division of labor?
So division of labor is basically, sir, dividing works among the community. So in the modern time, we have division of labor based on a specialization. For instance, someone is a doctor, someone is a bureaucrat, and based on the merit, we divide the labor. In the past societies, in India, it was based on caste system and the Varna system. In the other nation, it was a feudal setup where the clergy was at the top, then the feudal lords, and last were the serfs.
But in Vedic period, it was basically as per the expertise or the quality of the.
Yes, sir. As far as my understanding goes, sir, in the initial stages, our division of labor was quite perfect. It was based. The Varna structure was nothing but a division of labor based on the qualification, the skill set of a person. But later on, sir, due to some misunderstanding and misinterpretations, people at the top tried to consolidate their position, because of which it led to a hereditary system of Varna.
Have you studied the migration of Marathas or Maharashtrians? Maratha is one thing and Maharashtrian is another thing.
So
Maharashtrians, they have moved throughout the major part of the country.
Yes, sir. So when we talk about pre-independence period or the Maratha ruling period, like, sir, my own community, if we trace my roots, then it will be near the Maharashtra region itself, because the Holkars were given responsibility of tax collection, Sardeshmukhi and Chauth here, so they shifted here also. And in the similar manner, because of the expansion of empire, at that time they migrated. Expansion of empire and wars and all that. And sir, regarding, sir, the transhuman migration, sir, in Maharashtra also it happens that the shepherds go to the mountains during summers and come down in the cold winters. So internal migrations also happen from a long time.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Vishwajeet, what does Vishwajeet mean?
So Vishvjeet basically means the conqueror of the world.
Okay. Jo jeeta so Sikandar, we often say like that.
So
Why don't we say that Jo jeeta so Ashok?
Sir, it is basically as our Prime Minister, Honorable Honorable Narendra Modi ji said that we are still having a colonial hangover. It is also not directly a colonial hangover, but we have a tendency to associate greatness with the outsiders.
Good enough. Ozone Day. Ozone, आपका इसमें कुछ लिखा है ना?
Yes, sir, I was member
When
of.
do we observe Ozone Day?
So 16th September.
What do you mean by good ozone and bad ozone?
So good ozone is basically what is present at the stratosphere level. It protects us from the ultraviolet radiations, while at the troposphere level or in our own immediate atmosphere, it is a pollutant.
Ozone hole, it is increasing or decreasing?
So fortunately, it is decreasing, and it is expected to be to go to the 1980s level by 2065.
Why the tourists go to Bharatpur?
There is a Kevladev National Park.
Have you ever visited Kevladev National Park?
Yes, sir.
Have you seen the Siberian cranes also?
Sir, unfortunately, sir, I was not able to see Siberian cranes as.
Otherwise, are they coming there?
Sir, for a large amount of time they were not coming, but there are reports that a few of them might come in the near future.
Okay, you have studied in Malviya National Institute of Technology. What do you know about Mr. Malviya?
Sir, Madan Mohan Malviya ji played a prominent role in the Indian national freedom struggle. He was a midway of the extremists and the moderates. And so he also headed the Indian National Congress as a president for 4 terms. And so he played a major role in the establishment of Banaras Hindu University, which is currently also have Indian Institute of Technology. And so he played a prominent role in social reforms and played a major part in the non-cooperation and
Did he get any civilian award?
So I'm unable
Posthumously?
sorry, sir, I'm unable to recall as of now.
Bharat Ratna? Posthumously.
Okay, sorry, sir.
Okay, so related with mechanical engineering,
Yes, sir.
high security registration plate. What do you mean by high security registration plate? In many cities of the country, it has been made mandatory. So what do you mean by that?
So high security plates are the modern plates which have a hologram system, which is not that easy to copy. And in the olden plates, they were easily copied and duplicated by people. So there was a lot of issue of theft and misuse of vehicles.
Okay, there is a verse in Sanskrit which has been taken from Samayochit's Subhashitani. I translate that into English and you will tell me in 3-4 words only what exactly that means.
Okay, sir. I will
There
try.
is no person in the world who is not having any potential, but rare is the visionary who can transform that into reality. I repeat, there is no person in the world who is not having any potential, but rare is the visionary who can transform this into reality.
Sir, this according
3-4 words only, not more than that.
Okay, sir. Can I take
Yeah.
some time? Sir, we often fail to act on our potential. And we get distracted, and because of which we are not able to achieve what we could have.
Can we say that all the persons are having one quality or the other? They are having the potential,
Yes,
but
sir.
rare is the visionary, rare is the leader, rare is the manager,
Yes, sir.
rare is the manager who can use them as per their capacities and capabilities. Can you say like that?
Yes, sir. All
Because
have.
initially I said there is no person in the world who
Yes.
is not having any potential. All of them are having potential.
Yes, sir.
Last was rare is the visionary who can transform this into reality.
Yes.
So, do you have the quality of being a good leader or a good manager?
Sir, according to my own analysis, I think, sir, I have some qualities of a good leader, whereas I also have some qualities of a manager. So I am more
Any
of a mix.
instance where you have shown leadership quality?
So in the ozone day itself,
Eh?
so
Ozone
in
day
ozone
itself,
day we
okay.
were organizing.
Yeah.
We were organizing it, and because of some issue, our main leader was not there. So so the main coordinator was absent that day. So
Okay.
I took it upon myself to coordinate all the things, and while fulfilling my own responsibilities which were given to me.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, sir.
Vishwajit, we wait outside for a minute. We'll call you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. May I come in, sir? May I come in, sir?
Come in, Vishwajit. So, Vishwajit, how did your mock go, you think, today?
Sir, I feel that in the international relations question, I could have been a bit better and more structured.
How many marks you would give yourself?
Sir, I am a bit harsh on myself, so I would rate a bit low in 140s or 150s at max.
Percentage term, वह कितना? Percentage term.
So percentage, sir, it would be like 54-55%.
Okay, we have given you that, exactly 55%. But I'm sure you can improve your performance, and I'm sure you can take it to even 65 or 70% with some efforts on your part. So first suggestion from our side is focus on your DAF, what you have written in your DAF. Now Rajasthan, you have said, is your home state now.
Yes, sir.
So questions will be on Rajasthan. So be prepared, study, although sometimes we think we know a lot about our own state, but we don't know. So read about your state only. Second, I think I found a little, like I asked you about the political parties in our neighboring.
Yes, sir.
So this you should know, because since you have opted for Indian Foreign Service as number 2, that's important. You have written, so there will be questions on that. So for that, a very simple suggestion from my side: go to the Ministry of External Affairs website. It will not take you for more than 2 days or 3 days. You would find there are like fact sheets on each of the countries. So like it will talk about the political parties, it will talk about our relationship, how much trade, all that will be there. So go through that, and you will also find 1 or 2 speeches, actually recent ones, on our foreign policy. Even there will be some question answer sessions on G20, which is of vital importance now. So read about that. Then sociology, you need to brush up. I asked you a simple one about Sanskritization, your answer was good. But when we talked about M.N. Srinivas, you need to know a little more, his books and all he has written. Then are you reading an economic newspaper?
As of now, not,
No,
sir.
I think
Indian
please do.
Express and Times of India.
Yeah, please, read one paper only, but read another one, maybe the Mint or the Economic Times or the Yojana or whatever you think is available, readily available, read that. And since the budget and, economic survey and then budget will be there, so Mint will give you a good, guide.
Okay, sir.
It will be of great help to you. Then, anything to do with international events, for example, like say a question was asked about Ukraine.
Yes,
You were not able to really focus on the area because you are not familiar with the geography, Ukraine and Russia. Nothing. You just look at the world map, and you can always find out. You can find out about the history and how this when the Soviet Union was there.
Yes.
So you can read about it, and I think you will do well once you focus on these areas. And newspaper, whenever you read, try to jot down points of interest related to your DAF. For example, foreign policy, foreign service, for example. So focus on those areas. Like any visit, for example, like our External Affairs Minister was in Sri Lanka. Before that, he was in Maldives, as you know. He may be going to some other countries also. Keep track of all that.
Yes, sir.
And keep track of visits which will take around the time of your interview, around that time. So maybe when you read, take notes. Those will help you a lot, actually.
Okay, sir.
One more thing I would like to suggest to you, You have mentioned in your biodata about Mathura.
Yes, sir.
So there might be questions from Mathura also.
Okay, sir.
Recently, Mathura has been in news.
Yes, sir. The Shahid Gah and Janmabhoomi
So
dispute.
prepare critically on that also. What is your view? Frame your view and justify whatever you want. And otherwise also about Mathura, there are many things that you should know. So brush up your knowledge about Mathura also.
Okay, sir.
And when you sit down, Vishwajit, I wanted to point out, you remove the button of your jacket when you sit down actually.
Yes, sir.
When you stand, you can wear this button. But when you sit down specifically, take this off. Okay.
So this one also.
Yeah, the bottom,
कंफर्टेबल
The
फील
bottom-
करेंगे वैसे भी.
Okay.
But generally, the standard, etiquette is that when you stand, you can do like that. When you sit down, you'll find, like you see a conference, where dignitaries
Yes,
are
sir.
seated.
Yes, sir.
So you can see that.
What I was doing, sir, I was just opening the last.
No, that's okay.
All the best.
Okay, sir.
Any question from your side?
No, sir. It was a wonderful experience, sir.
शेव करेंगे ना उस दिन या
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
या तो ठीक से ट्रिम करके जाना
Yes, sir. Yes.
और नहीं शेव करना जैसे.
Yes, sir.
All the very best, Vishnu.
All good wishes and all the best.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.